afternoon or morning, depending on where you live. Hope things are going well. Here we go. We're almost live everywhere, and that looks like it. Looks like we're live everywhere now. Awesome. It is Wednesday, April 23rd, and there are actually 5 Wednesdays in this month. So this is Wednesday number 4. Good morning. We have Monica who says it is foggy and cold in sunny California. Yeah, it's about right for this time of year. Um, yes. So I thought I had a hiccup, but maybe I didn't. Never mind. Um, okay, there it is. It was messing with me. Um, and I have brain fry, but that's okay because Monique says hello. Hello, Monique. Um, oh, right. 5 Wednesdays this month. Okay, which means this is actually the fourth Wednesday of April, and we will have our Patreon live this evening from I believe 6 to 8. Let me check real quick. I had almost set up the share screen and not quite gotten there here. So let's give it a quick look here so you can remember where you go to see what's going on with the lives. You go into community or the sit and stitches, the Zooms, and you go on to event calendar, and then you find whichever one you're looking at. Today is the 23rd, so you can see this says Patreon. If it says Patreon, that means you do have to be one of the paid Patreon members. So if you are a Patreon, that was a patron live creator social, which is the patrons are on Patreon. So if you go here, you'll see that you can go over to the codes and links category on Patreon to find the link for this evening's live sit and stitch. That is from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Um, so that is today's sit and stitch. And because there are 5 Wednesdays in this month, a week from today, next Wednesday, there will not be a sit and stitch because we have them scheduled for 4 Wednesdays a month. All right, and then actually the Wednesday afterwards is when I will be in H&H, and there will not be a sit and stitch. I may be talking to the mods about doing the live in 2 weeks. There's the lunchtime live always happens. All right, let me stop sharing my screen. Here we go. Wrong button. Okay, the Wednesday at noon. This live lunch with the Foundry pretty much always happens. Next week I'll be here. The week after, when I'm going to be at the trade show, we may have the moderators do it. I may talk to some of the other people who are going to be at the trade show and also see if I can find a space that will have proper internet access. And I may just do a little thing with some of the people at the show. We'll see. But it might also it might be the mods doing it as well. So today I wanted to talk about flat bags and like variations you can do on flat bags, either already made or as you're making it, if you're crocheting or knitting or sewing or whatever, making a flat bag. And if you're using a pre-existing pattern, you can still do these modifications. Right, so we're going to kind of look at some of those. We'll look a little bit at some lining. It's just gonna be a fun little day looking at, or that entire day, fun little like half hour to 45 minutes or so, looking at what we can do with flat bags. Flat bags are the ones that don't have any sides. All right. So, and the motivation for this is that the April crochet along, which you can find information again on the website. You can hop over. I keep hitting the wrong button, man. Under here, if we go back to wrong button, see, wrong button. I am the queen of the wrong button. We go back under community, you can see like the sit and stitches, which is basically going to tell you to run through, they usually run through Patreon. Um, and they are also, here, let me give you the Patreon link. You do not, while, I'm having so much trouble making sentences today. I don't know why. Sorry about that. So while I clicked on sit and stitches instead of crochet alongs. While the crochet alongs are, you know, like I said, under community crochet cows, while the crochet alongs are kind of hosted through Patreon, we do let you know what the pattern is every month. Okay, and this is called the Purple Passion Bag. I did not save the link for you for some reason, but if you go over to jessieathome.com and then go ahead and just type in Purple Passion Purse, it's the, oops, I know how to spell. There we go. See, I've been looking for it lately. Purple Passion, and enter. It doesn't work unless you hit enter. Okay, so here is the bag. Okay, and so even if you're not a paid Patreon member, you can get the pattern free on the website, free on crochet, free on Jessie at Home. It's an ad supported site. Okay, so there will be ads, obviously, because it is an ad supported site. There we go. My mouse does not like, nothing likes to work when I'm doing the lives, guys. Sorry about that. This normally closes the moment you hit it. I think it's the live. It better be the live, because if it's not closing like it's supposed to, I'm going to have to fix it. All right. So, oh, maybe I just needed to start scrolling. I swear it's supposed to close when you hit the button. I'll double check that. But it's an ad-supported site, but the pattern is free on the ad-supported site. You can also then buy the PDF. And if you are a Patreon patron, you can get the PDF for free during the month of the crochet along. All right, so let me pop back to just me over here. There we go. And let me get rid of that and go back over to here so I can see if you guys have comments. All right, so this was the original sample from several years ago when I originally made this design. All right, and that's why I called it the Purple Passion Bag, Passion Purse, because I made it in shades of purple. All right, I think this was paint box yarn, I think is what I made it with. But you can use, I mean, you can use any yarn, basically. If the gauge changes, the size of the sample will change. I am using, for the current samples that I've been working on, I've been using Hirschner's Worsted 8. But a worsted yarn is what it calls for. Okay, so this is a flat bag because there are really no sides. It's got no side width, okay? No side dimensions, really. It's essentially, it is a flattened tube. And then there is the flap, which is hand stitched on. And so we're going to talk about a couple different things, some different things you can do to a flat bag, modifications you can make, all right? This one you see, it has the flap that's sewn on at the end. It has straps that are attached at the end, and the straps are simply a chunk of each of the 3 colors of yarn braided together. All right, and we put the little fringe on the bottom and the tassels at the end of the straps. So the straps were super easy, as in, like, guys, I literally, you can see that I pulled it through because this is a linen stitch. So there's like, you can easily kind of find a hole here, right? See, you can kind of easily pull things through these holes. So I braided it and pulled it through the hole and then tied the knot. And did I do some stitching or something? I think before I tied the knot, I pulled some of the braids through different holes and then tied the knot to make it really stay. But honestly, you could just pull it through one of the holes and tie the knot at the end, and it probably wouldn't pull out again. I just get paranoid about that. So I think it looks like what I did was I actually pulled like each of the 3 strands of the braid through 3 different little holes and then tied the knot. And so now it's really not going through going anywhere. You can't pull the knot back out through the hole because they've been pulled together. And I just did that on both ends. And I mean, super simple strap, right? But you can vary your straps, you can vary your little dangles, your add or subtract tassels. I'm going to show you more examples, guys, too. And here you see in the pattern I have surface crochet, top stitching, slip stitching on top of the crochet, whatever you want to call it, where it's just I simply slip stitch. Surface crochet is just slip stitching through the fabric. So I have the tail end, the working end of the yarn that's still attached to the ball down here, and you pull up a loop, right? And so you have the loop on your hook on top of on the right side of the fabric, and then the end of the yarn that's attached to the ball on the bottom, the wrong side of your fabric. And then you just insert your hook into the next stitch, like in between the next two stitches, pull up a loop, pull it through the loop on your hook to make a slip stitch. And then there's back to one loop on your hook, insert your hook in between the next two stitches, and so on and so forth. All right, hold on. We've got a couple things going on here. So let's see. We have Jeannie says hi. Monique says the bag is pretty and very practical. Monique is also a fan of purple. Jeannie says it's pretty too. Thank you so much. And Monique is saying hi to Jeannie. Monica will be driving the rest of the program, will drive safely and loves this bag. And Monique agrees and also says to drive safely. All right, so we are good to go. I wanted to make sure I got all the comments. Oh, and look over on Instagram. We do have a comment that says, hi, Mom. This is actually during my my kids. I think it's either lunch or it's lunch or study hall or so. I don't know. I asked her before, and it's okay that she's saying hi to me during the live. I think it might be lunchtime right now. So here is the original sample of the bag. Now let me show you a couple other things for flat bag alterations. This is a different pattern. And this pattern, this is really great. If you have a flat bag that is initially knit or crochet completely flat, okay, you can, if you look, you see there's a seam right here. So this was initially crocheted and it looked like a little kid drawing of a house where it's the rectangle with the triangle on top, and then you just folded it up. So for this bag, a really simple way to line a bag like this, when it was still flat, guys, I just took a piece of fabric, I laid this on top of the piece of fabric when it was flat, when it was like the house shape, right? So it's basically shaped like this, but longer. Okay, when it was the house shape, I laid it on top of the fabric and I traced it with a piece of chalk. And then I cut it out actually to the size, the exact size of this being flat, and folded in the edges about 1/4 of an inch, which made the whole piece of fabric, once they were folded in, 1/4 of an inch around smaller than the bag while it was still unfolded. And what I did was then lay that fabric onto the bag with that little 1/4 inch extra, right? And I don't know that you're going to be able to see it, but I think you kind of can, because I used the white that goes with the yarn as opposed to the blue that goes with the lining. And I hand stitched all the way around. I hand stitched the lining onto the bag while they were both still lying flat. Then I folded it. I folded that bottom up halfway here. Okay, just the flat part, not the rooftop, but the main part of the house. I folded it up and seamed the two sides. Okay, that is a super simple way to line a flat bag. If it is initially a completely flat piece that you fold in one way or another and then sew together. You can line it while it's still flat. Okay. Now let's see. So this is also one of the variations I'm making on this current pattern, where I just made it smaller side to side. So I started with less stitches, and this is now a little phone bag. All right. And I'm not going to line this one, and I'm not going to put a flap on it. I'm going to decide on some sort of straps. I'm going to talk about some various ideas for straps and various ideas for accessory bag straps, like bags that might want to be attached to other bags. Okay, so we're going to probably get back to this one when we talk about that. This is the one that is basically the same size as this. Okay, but when I did the flap on this one, what I did differently was on the purple one, I did my top stitching, my surface crochet on all the way, just in a straight line, because this is made as a triangle. So I just did it in a straight line over the same row of stitches. On this one, I changed color. On the bag, I changed color every row. So I did teal, green, teal, purple, teal, green, teal, purple. On the flap, I did 2 rows of green, 2 rows of purple, 2 rows of green, 2 rows of purple. Then I did the surface crochet in the teal, and I went up and down following, because it's a linen stitch, I followed where the colors are, where the color changes is. There's a video, I haven't finished editing it, but it will go with this pattern. Okay, so if you're on Patreon, there will be a post on a post that you can access as a Patreon patron that will have the video that shows you this videos for all of it, but it does show you how to do this variation of the surface crochet. You can do a zigzag surface crochet on many stitches. The video is showing you how I did it specifically on this piece that is linen stitch. And then it will also, the videos with the tips and tutorials and everything will also end up on Jessie at Home, which again, that is the ad supported site. So the videos will have ads and the article will have ads. The one that the Patreon patrons will be able to access, they'll have access sooner, and there's no ads on that one. All right, so that's part of what you are getting as a paid Patreon member. All right, and you might notice that the flap, I didn't join it all the way to the edge, and the reason for that is I'm going to attach a D-ring here and here. Okay, a D-ring, it's like, you know, a circle. It's like a little metal ring, but it's shaped like a D instead of an O. Okay, so there's the flat part that I'll attach right here, and then it's got the little loop. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a strap that I can clip on. Okay, and the reason why I want the clip-on strap, okay, this works great if you want to have, especially if you're doing something where the color of your bag is more neutral and you maybe want to have a couple different straps depending on your outfit. Or maybe sometimes you want a bag that goes, you know, over your shoulder, and sometimes it goes like crossbody, and sometimes you want a regular one, and maybe sometimes you want like this for a bag like this. It's fun to have, you know, a strap where you can wear it, but then maybe you want to change it out sometimes and have just a little wrist strap where it hangs from your wrist. Okay, so that kind of an idea is great for this, and that's also what I intended on doing with this one, but I didn't have the hardware at the time. It should be here today. I just keep forgetting I kept forgetting to get it. This bag is really old, and I finally remembered the other day to get the hardware. So the other reason for why I want the bag to have changeable, to have the little D-rings here, is because this bag, I'm going to tell you a little bit about variations we're making on it in a moment. Okay, this bag is going to have 2 little mini straps that come off of it, okay, that have the clasps at the end, so that I can have this bag as a crossbody bag, right? But then with the little clips, I can actually clip this bag. So the clips will come down. There'll be a little strap right here with a clip at the end that can clip onto the D-rings on this bag to kind of make it like a front pocket. Or you could toss this bag into the inside of this one so that it's an inside little separate bag. Helps keep you more organized. I will probably have it on the front so that I can easily get to things, my smaller things in here. I have options. It can either be an additional kind of pocket to this bag, or I can change it to the other strap and it can be its own individual bag, okay? Which is great, like if you're going to a trade show, okay? I can have all my trade show stuff in here, my personal stuff in here, and then if we're going to go out for dinner, I can leave this part of the bag alone, switch out, back at the hotel, switch out the strap on this one and just take this bag, okay? And the other thing you could do, like I said, I was going to get back to the phone one. Oh, here it is. Again, you could do the wrist thing on this, but you could do that same idea with this one, okay? And what I might do with this one is actually do some sort of a loopy strap where I can clip it. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do my 2D rings on this, right? And I'll have a crossbody strap for it if I just want to have my phone and my room key and a credit card or whatever in here, or debit card. But then I'll also have a smaller one where what I can do is just take the strap, attach it here, wrap it around the strap of this bag and attach it here, and it hangs off of this bag. So I only have one stripe, one strap going across my body, but I have, my little phone bag hanging over here and this bag here, and holds everything together. So that's one of the really fun things about using the D-rings and the lobster clasps, okay? You can change that. You put the D-rings on your bag or bags. You put your D-rings on the two sides of your bag, and then your straps have the lobster clasps at the end of them, or the, gate clasps or whatever at the end of them, so you can change out your straps, okay? And this also works with like water bottle, like the water bottle holders and stuff, anything that has straps. You just want to think about how hefty your straps need to be, if your straps stretch or not. We'll talk about that again in a minute. I'm just checking the time here. Let's see, we've got a couple comments. All right, and Monique was going to ask about a tutorial. So yes, the paid Patreon members will get it sooner, and ad-free videos, ad-free text. Not everybody else, it will be probably at the beginning of May. Like, what month is it? It will be available on Jessie at Home with, excuse me, which is ad supported, and the videos will be run through YouTube, which is also ad supported. Okay, so it's as with most of the stuff that I do. Like with my patterns, a lot of them are free on Jessie at Home and then paid for if you purchase them. A lot of times I give you the option. Who do you want to pay? Do you want the advertisers to pay and then you have to deal with the ads, or do you want to pay and then you don't have to deal with the ads? And yes, if you're like, why you should keep talking about Jessie at Home? This is Crochet Foundry. The crochet along and everything, yes, it is run through Crochet Foundry. This is a Jessie at Home pattern because I happen to own both Jessie at Home and Crochet Foundry. I am Jessie. Hi. So sometimes there's a decent amount of crossover, and a lot of times with the crochet along, there's a whole lot of crossover. All right. So this just happens to be live where we're talking about the crochet along. So there's a lot of crossover here. Monique loves all the details and really like all the different options to add and subtract bags as you need them. Exactly. And then you don't have to have there's not like it's only an accessory to a different bag. You can change it out and give it its own strap as well. Right? That's one of the reasons I love that various strap idea. Now, the other thing, what I'm going to do with this bag is I'm actually going to take this flat bag and turn it into a more dimensional bag. And I'm going to do that by, I'm going to go ahead and I will basically make a little triangle here. Okay, so you fold it up so there's a little triangle, fold that triangle in, fold this end up so there's a little triangle, fold that triangle in, and now you've given this a flat bottom. Okay, I'm going to show you that a little bit more with the fabric that I'm going to use to line it. You can then leave the top like this, okay? Or you can do the same idea. And what I'm thinking I want to do is with the top, I'm going to do the same idea, but I'm not going to fold the triangle over. I'll do that same idea where I kind of fold it down and make the triangle. And I'm going to seam it right here and make sure there's some fabric inside, all right? So that it's, because remember, crochet or knit will be stretchy, whereas depending on your fabric, the fabric that I have for lining ideas is not stretchy. So when you do that, what'll happen is these triangle corners, they won't stretch. And that is where this bag is going to have permanently attached wider straps. This is going to be a crossbody bag that's made to hold a little bit more. I'm still going to go a little taller than this, okay? And so that will provide me with nice stable straps that I can attach to these little triangles here and here. And then I can stitch a zipper in the top here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to take this flat bag and turn it into a dimensional bag with the magical triangle. All right. Hold on, we have some more. Jeannie loves making bags and says they are pretty. Thank you. Never thought of that. Well, thank you. You're welcome there, Jeannie. Okay, and let's see. Oh, I have my plastic canvas out, because what I'm also going to do is when I flatten the bottom of this, I'm going to take a piece of plastic canvas and it's going to be sandwich it in between the crochet bag and the fabric lining. What I'm going to do with the fabric lining, let's see. I'll see if I can find. This is the piece I was hoping I could use. I haven't checked yet to see if it will be. Ooh, oh my gosh, look at that. It was meant to be, guys. It was totally meant to be. Oh my goodness. So I will take this, which is just the right width and actually twice as long as I need it to be. But see, it's still folded in half. But okay, we can take this. And what I will do with this piece of fabric is I will make it the same size as this. So the width we're pretty good on, and the height right now is actually exact. But like I said, I'm making this one taller. So I'll make it so that they're the same size. And then I will seam the sides, so it's the same as this one. Then once the sides are seamed, I will go ahead and flatten up the bottom with the which will have a triangle because that'll be seamed, so that when I flatten the bottom and fold those triangles, right? Obviously the pretty side will be on the inside so that it's seen as the lining. So I will do the triangle on the bag and the lining before I join them together. All right, because then what I'll do is I will slide the plastic canvas base. Okay, so whatever size, this is just a piece I had, but if it was this size, I'd slide that into the bag. Then I'll slide the lining in, and I'll just do a little hand stitching probably around the four corners, in the four corners of through the lining and into the bag, just to make sure it stays, okay? And then what I will do is I'll hand stitch the lining. Let me drop this in here. I'll hand stitch the lining just below the edge of the top of the bag, okay? And so that'll be hand stitched in here, tacked down at the bottom, holding the plastic canvas in place. Then I will do those little corners here so that the fabric is inside this corner, so that the corner does not stretch when I attach it to the strap. Okay, the corner won't stretch, so I won't have my bag growing on me. All right, so that will be in there, and then I'll hand stitch in probably a zipper or something for the closure on the top. Let's see, we have a few questions. Love the idea. What are you making? We're talking about various ways to modify flat bags that are crochet or knit. You can modify existing patterns. You can modify bags you've already finished. We're just talking about that sort of idea. How do you stop the fabric from moving? Well, Monique, like I said, I'm going to tack, with my thread, hand sewing thread and needle, when I have it, when I have the lining inside, I'm going to sew a little bit on the, I might just do probably on the four corners. I'm just going to sew a little bit through the layers on the bottom of the bag to hold the lining in place. And then it will also be, like I said, we're going to hand stitch it to the top of the bag up here. All right, so it'll be, the fabric will be attached to the bag across here, and it'll be attached to the bag at the bottom four corners. And that's really plenty. I mean, I have bags that I've lined where the only place it's attached is on the top. And it's fine because when you put stuff in there, everything just gravity, it stays. I thought I had just a flat bag with a lining in it, but I mean, I do. I thought I had grabbed one, but I don't. But one of the things that I've done with a flat bag like this before, I just only line the bag. I have actually used an old t-shirt, right? So you can take an old t-shirt. If it's small, you can use a sleeve that's already a tube, right? And you just cut the sleeve off and like sew the cut edge together, and you have the pretty cuff edge that you can then just quickly top stitch inside, and that's a bag lining for a flat bag. But you have to have either a really big t-shirt or a really small bag in order for the sleeve to work, right? But I've done this. I've used an old t-shirt that was stained or I don't like anymore, or had a hole somewhere or whatever. And I've actually cut, like, I would cut the bottom, okay? And so I would cut like the bottom of it, so like here, so that I still have the nice hem that's on the bottom of the t-shirt. And I have a rectangle that is big enough to fold in half, okay? Because usually, again, it's going to be, if I just cut it and have the tube, it will probably be too wide, right? So I cut it, and then I cut the bag again, I cut the t-shirt again. This would be almost like when you're laying the t-shirt down flat, you would put this, let's say this is my t-shirt lying flat. There's fabric in here. The liner in here. Oh, and there's also Hershey's Kisses in here that my brother-in-law dropped Hershey's Kisses in here because he thought I might want some. he's on the autism spectrum, and he's just the sweetest ever. And so while I was making this on Easter, he kept dropping Hershey's Kisses in it, so that if I got hungry while I was crocheting, I could have a Hershey's Kiss. So that's why there's little bumps. So let's pretend this is my t-shirt lying flat on my table, and this is my bag. Okay, here's the bottom, the pretty little hem on the bottom of my t-shirt. I would take my bag and I would lie it like this. Let me, and that so you can actually see. Okay, so I take my bag and I would line up the corner. Okay, and then I would cut the t-shirt just a little bit higher than the bag and a little bit wider than the bag. All right, so this will actually, it will actually end up giving me, when I take it apart, I'll have a rectangle that's, when folded in half, the size of this bag. I'll then seam up this side, so I now have a tube that's the size of this bag. And then I will seam the cut edge. So this is where I cut it. Sorry, this is where I cut it, because the pretty bottom hemmed edge of the shirt is down here. So I'd actually seam up the cut edge and seam up the cut edge. I'd seam up these two cut edges so that when I then look at it, the open part is nice and finished because it was the bottom hem of the t-shirt. You then slide that inside your bag with what was the bottom hem of your t-shirt lining up right here, and you can just hand stitch it right there. Great way to, reduce, reuse, recycle. Great reuse idea for the t-shirt you're not wearing anymore for whatever reason. And of course, it's the same way you do it with a piece of fabric. I mean, it's the same idea, but that's just something that I've done plenty of times because I tend to, when clothes are not being worn anymore for whatever reason, I find ways to reuse them. I might, in the worst possible shape, they end up as a rag. but I don't believe in just throwing away useful things. Like if they're not being worn anymore because the person grew out of them or doesn't like them and they're still in good shape, I donate them. But if they're not in good shape, I find ways to reuse them. Well, sometimes I'll keep the ones that aren't being that like when the kids have grown out of some of their favorite stuff, I've kept it so I can, do things with them for keepsakes. So anyway, there are some more questions and comments. So let me see. Oh, it's just sweet chocolate. And I didn't even notice that there was an extra letter in there because Monique corrected her spelling. Monica, I hope there are tutorials on how to make all of these variations. There will be, okay? And the other thing I'm going to do with that is, there's going to be several different posts coming up. They will be accessible to Patreon patrons first, and they will be ad-free. There's that section of the Crochet Foundry blog that has that, like, you have to have the right login, that is accessible only to the Patreon patrons, and that will be where the posts, the tutorials are, ad-free tutorials, ad-free video, and text tutorials. And then I will repost that over on probably on Jessie at Home. And over on Jessie at Home, it's an ad-supported site, so there'll be ads within the text, and the videos will be run through YouTube, which will also have ads. So, as I said, either when I have to obviously get paid for doing all this content, so either the advertisers pay me or you decide. But honestly, like the lowest tier of Patreon is I want to say it's $5, and the PDFs of my patterns, most of the patterns that I'm using for the crochet alongs, the PDFs, if you want to just buy the PDF, they're $4.99. And when you're on the lowest tier of the Patreon, one of the perks you get is you get the PDF of the crochet along pattern each month. It's only available for free for you to download the month that it is the crochet along pattern, but you can go ahead and do that, and that covered the price of your Patreon membership right there. Everything else is gravy, right? So there is that. I feel like, straps. I want to talk a little bit about straps. And this is another bag. This is the bag that Tamara of Moogly designed for the England trip that we went on in October. And it is not a flat bag. It does have a little bit of a side, but this is the fabric that I have for it. And this was purchased in England actually while we were there. But Joanne Fowler, who writes the articles, some of the articles in Crochet Foundry, she usually has one article in each issue. She actually purchased this for me, which was so sweet because I told her I was looking for a London-themed fabric to line this bag, and she found it and bought it for me. And that was just the sweetest thing, and it makes me so happy. But I wanted to show you this because I'm going to probably make the lining the way that I was telling you before, where what I'll do is I'll lie this bag flat like this, right, to figure out the size. And then, because the bag does actually have these, the little side and the little bottom here, then what I'll do is I'll do that, fold the triangle things on the lining to make it have the dimension. And I'll probably put I'll probably put a piece of the plastic canvas in the bottom of this one as well, just because it'll help define the shape of it, okay? Because this one, it doesn't really like define its shape by itself. So if I put that little plastic canvas piece in the bottom, and then again run some hand stitches through the lining, the plastic canvas, and the bag on the four corners here, then that'll hold the lining in place at the bottom, and also define the shape. So I'm going to do that with this and then make a strap. And straps is something else I want to talk to you about. We, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, we talked about different strap ideas. Hold on. Fabric reminds you of Scouts badges. I know, right? They're all teacups, though. Oh, and actually, that teapot looks like it. I can't decide if it's a polka dot teapot or if it's a teapot strainer. I have a teapot. You can put your your loose tea in the little tea ball. I have a teapot shaped tea ball, so that's what this makes me think of. But I think it's supposed to be a polka dotted teapot because if it was a tea ball, it would probably have a string on it, right? And you can see down here it does not have a string on it, but they're all teacups or mugs. So for your straps, you want to think about whether or not a strap is going to stretch. So you can go back and look at that previous issue of Crochet Found of the previous episode of um, uh, uh, Lunch with the Foundry here. Let me see. I can't remember. We're um, over on YouTube. And it is actually just Jessie at home because we use one um, YouTube channel for both things. I didn't see the point of opening a new YouTube channel. And when Furls owned Crochet Foundry, they were doing the Crochet Foundry stuff on the Furls YouTube, so Crochet Foundry didn't have its own YouTube. Oh, there we go. All right, so if you go ahead and you click on playlists, let's see, everything is always slower when I am live. You should be able to choose the playlist you want to watch. Here we go, Lunch with the Foundry. All right, don't play, because if you start playing, we'll all hear it. I just want that. No, where's the pause? So I can hit pause. Come up so I can hit pause. Ooh, pause. Okay, I hit pause, dude. Thank you. All right. It's not going to show me these large enough. Oh my gosh, really? Here we go. Oh, it might have been a while ago. There's got to be, I know there's a better way to see the full list of them without it doing that annoying everywhere thing, that annoying squishy thing. Here we go. Bag strap options was $326.25. All right. So we talked a lot about various bag strap options on March 26th. Okay, so you can watch that one, and it's got, let's see, what's the picture on it? That makes sense. The picture on it is one of the illustrations from Crochet Foundry with a girl carrying a bag. So there you go. That is the bag strap options one. So if you go to Crochet Foundry, you'll find it was 3 weeks ago, you'll find that you can do that replay to look at some of our options. And in the description of that one, there's links because I referred to a lot of patterns and posts by other people, and I think by myself as well. And I put all those links in the description, so you can find the links to those various tutorials. And one of the things I was talking about was ribbon that doesn't stretch, grosgrain ribbon. Okay, so you can see you can use the grosgrain ribbon, but what I want to do also with this bag that I have the fun lining for is I also had a another piece of it here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I don't think it's quite going to be, actually it might be long enough. If it's long enough, great. If not, then I will cut it in half, and I'm going to use this to attach to one side of my crochet strap. So I'll probably make a crochet strap that I will line on one side with this, Okay, I might even put a piece of fleece in the middle just to help with the softness of it. Um, and that way it's going to like call out to the lining of the bag, and it's also going to make it so that even though the crochet stretches, the strap won't, because the fabric will is not a stretchy fabric. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with this is line my, it'll be the inside of my strap with this piece, so that it does not stretch. My bag doesn't, as I put more stuff in it and it gets heavier and heavier, it doesn't end up at my knees. Okay, so that's something else to keep in mind. We have a few more comments. Let's see, over on Instagram. Let's see. Oh, my daughter, when she said hi, mom, she's in gym, but they have the way they have gym at the school. There's like 3 or 4 classes all at once, so there's a lot of times where they're just like waiting. All right. And up, Parlez-Vous Crochet says, hello there. I'm pretty sure Parlez-Vous Crochet is Jamie. I want to say it's Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Jamie Presley, I think. All right. So now we have a few more comments. I want to make sure that I get them all answered if they're questions. So cute. It's a Betsy teapot. I don't know what Betsy teapot means. Um, Sarah says she has a sloth-shaped tea strainer that fits onto the side of the mug. You know what my son got me a couple years ago? Have you seen all of the Nessie kitchen stuff? There's like a kitchen, there's a ladle that's like ladle shaped, but then when it comes up, the very top of it like folds over and it's like Nessie, like the Loch Ness Monster. He got me a Nessie tea strainer. So like Nessie's body is the tea strainer and it's silicone. You take the top off, put the tea in it and put the top back on again. And then his Nessie's neck comes up and then folds over the top of your mug with her little head there. It's a Nessie strainer. It's so freaking cute. Monique loves it, really cute and great. Right, exactly. The fabric that I'm going to use with the bag and everything. Okay, so everybody likes the fabric. Can you make me bigger so we can see, please? Did I have me small when I was doing the description? Tell me what you need me to show bigger, Monique, and I will. When is the next sit and stitch? Monica, tonight you are, I'm almost, yes, you are a patron, so there is one tonight. We're going to pop on over real quick, and I will, because now I'm small again. Oh, I'm small right now. That might be what she's talking about. All right, so let's see. Crochet Foundry. Here, we're going to just do this real quick. It's easy to find it when I just pop up. I'll show you real quick where you can see that. But today from 6 to 8, Monica, is the next sit and stitch. But if you go to Crochet Foundry, I did this at the very beginning. A lot of people weren't here yet. And when you're on Crochet Foundry, if you're on a mobile device and you don't see this menu, there's the hamburger menu, which is those 3 lines. You click on that and you'll get this menu. It'll usually pop down on the side. Under under community is the event calendar. There's the sit and stitches here, but the event calendar is the best way to find out when the next whatever is. Okay, so you can see here, there is one tonight. And since it says patron, it means that it's only going to be, only the people who are patrons are going to have access to the link. So if you click on that, it'll tell you to, here, let me right click. So it opens in a new, it'll tell you, it'll give you the link to the codes and links section on Patreon. If you click on it, if you're signed into Patreon and you are a Patreon member, paid member, it'll open up for you. If you're not, it'll say that you need to be a member. I'm not going to click on it because then it'll show you all the link because I'm logged in. And then like we only have 4 sit and stitches a month, and there are 5 Wednesdays in this month. So next Wednesday, a week from today, which is the 5th Wednesday, we do not have a sit and stitch. Okay. And then coincidentally, the following Wednesday, the first Wednesday of May, we don't have one because I am out of town. Okay. I'm at the H&H trade show. There will most likely still be a lunch with the Foundry. It will probably be our mods. I need to remember to ask them. It might be me and some of the other attendees of H&H if I can make that work. It's hard to always find proper internet access for that. But then you can see the ones that say at the Foundry afternoon sit and stitch. That means that it is open to everybody. Okay. And I clearly need to, I think I only had these on the calendar up through the 21st of May. So I will get more of them on so that you can see them on all, because I am 95% sure there is actually a sit and stitch here. I think that's just as far as I had them entered. And I think the lunch with the Foundries I have on an every week kind of thing. So they just always show up or something. I'm not entirely positive. I don't remember. It's been a while. All right. So there's the next sit and stitch is tonight. Let me go back to Making Me Big. Okay. Monique was giving the answer tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. But yes, it is Patreon. Yes, it is Jamie. All right. Oh, Angelisa's here and says good afternoon and God bless. Yes, it is. If Monica might make it, she has to babysit today. Really want to attend the AM one. Yeah, so that will be the next AM one. Let me look. I still have it up on my screen at least. On May 14th, there is a 10 a.m. to 11:50 a.m. because this starts at noon. Is the Patreon morning one. And then on May 21st is the afternoon one that's open to everybody from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's all on that calendar, so you don't need to try to memorize it. It's all right there for you to see. Let's see, we have any more comments over here? No, and we have all of these. Good, and it is 12:52. Oh my goodness. All right, I think we are good to go then. Yeah, most of this stuff that we've talked about will be in one of the upcoming posts. I'm going to do a post that will be on whenever we have a crochet along pattern. I usually will then put a post that is on at the Foundry Patreon, and then also on Jessie at Home or Crochet Foundry, one of the two. If it's a Jessie at Home pattern, I put it on Jessie at Home. That will have the tips and tutorials that go along with the pattern. So all of the variations, whatever. And then I will probably do a separate post on bag straps, where we'll do some various bag straps. I've been putting together some quick tips and stuff that will start going out eventually as well, with bag straps and stuff. So this all will end up on the blog, but I just kind of wanted to go over it with you. Remember, you can watch the replays on YouTube if there's anything you don't remember and you want to look back on it. And we did 3 weeks ago do one of these specifically on bag straps, so you can watch that replay as well. And when you look at the little thumbnails on YouTube, if you go to the YouTube Jessie at Home, which is also the Crochet Foundry YouTube, it's both. The playlist, there's a playlist for Lunch with the Foundry, and the one from 3 weeks ago, it has bag straps. It actually says on the picture, it says bag straps, and then the actual picture within the thumbnail is a sketch of a summery looking girl with a bag. All right, so I think we are good. We are all saying goodbye, and I hope to see all of my Patreon members tonight from 6 to 8 Eastern, and everybody else, I will hopefully see you here at the Lunch on the Foundry next week, the same time. All right. It was great talking to you all. Have a wonderful day and happy stitching.